Hi, this is Rich. How you doing? Hey, we're going to study Gnostics, the Gnostic teachings together. Okay, and what's in it for you? Okay, you're going to learn how I study. You're going to learn some very powerful techniques that will help you absorb this information that for some people, including myself, has been a challenge to, like, what the hell are you talking about? It's like all these highfalutin concepts and, like, how do I make it practical? How can I actually use it to experience the awakening, the ascension, the inner wisdom, the expansion of consciousness, whatever the fuck we're supposed to get out of learning and studying the Gnostic teachings, right? Something wonderful is supposed to fucking happen. Well, when is that, right? Okay, so I've already done a couple of conversations, more than that, but there's the last two conversations I did. They were both really great, and they had to do with the core basic teachings, the monad, the unity, the one, emanations, Sophia, wisdom. But I realized I need to bring it all together, and now I've got more clarity on how to come at it in a way that I can experience firsthand, direct experience of the teachings today, not next fucking week or after 100 or 1,000 hours of meditating and looking inward. No. Right fucking now. Today. All right? All right. Let's do this together. First, ChatGPT Buddy here is going to go over the notes that we covered yesterday and earlier today so that we can get you up to speed, but also so I can hear it again and it'll sink in. And you will get an idea of how I learn and study, and it might be very helpful to you. Okay? All right. Here we go. Start now, Richie, or excuse me, Budinsky.
Got it. I've taken in both parts, and here's my plan. Analysis of the two parts.
Mm-hmm.
The content you've shared is rich, full of energy, and packed with ideas that revolve around. 1. The concept of the one monad. Wrestling with whether the term the one or monad is relatable, and how these concepts can sometimes feel out there, making it harder for students to connect. 2. Starting with emanations. The realization that starting with tangible, relatable experiences like love, faith, and wisdom makes the teachings far more accessible. It grounds the philosophy in everyday experience before diving into the abstract.
Yep.
3. Teaching philosophy. The breakthrough is a modern experiential approach where students feel the emanations first, ask themselves where they come from, and naturally trace them back to the one.
Yeah.
4. The emotional energetic blockage. Exploring the frustration of losing your train of thought or energy flow, and how acknowledgement and understanding are essential to clearing that block and maintaining momentum. 5. Modernizing Gnostic teachings. You're rethinking how to present these teachings for a modern audience, emphasizing clarity, accessibility, and direct experience over dense esotericism. Strengths. Engaging and relatable. Your approach is personal, raw, and conversational, which is exactly what draws people in. Experiential focus. Grounding the teachings in felt experiences makes them practical and transformative. Philosophical depth. You're bridging ancient teachings with modern insights, and even pulling in Socratic methods, reverse logic, and relatable metaphors like dreams and emanations. Energy and flow. Your dynamic back and forth style brings an electric energy to the discussion. Next steps. What do you want to do? Now that we've laid it all out, let's figure out where to take this.
Okay.
Here are a few ideas to guide the conversation. 1. Refine the teaching approach. Would you like to start drafting an outline for a modern Gnostic teaching system based on this experiential method?
No.
We could explore how to structure a step-by-step process starting with emanations and leading into the one.
Well, you might do
2.
that.
Explore specific concepts. Do you want to dive deeper into emanations like love, faith, wisdom, or focus on one specific emanation and unpack how to teach it?
Yes.
Alternatively, we could circle back to the one and explore how to present it after students have grasped the emanations. 3. Develop content for students. Should we take this conversation and begin drafting it into a teaching script, article, or even YouTube content?
No.
We can create exercises for students to practice experiencing emanations and connecting with their source.
Not yet.
4. Focus on you.
Yes.
Do you want to process any lingering energy blocks, like
No.
the frustration from earlier?
No.
Or talk more about the dynamics of expression, acknowledgement, and understanding?
No.
We could explore how your teaching style and energy flow play into the overall learning experience.
No.
What's resonating most with you right now, big boy? Do you want to zero in on one of these, or is there something else you're fired up to explore? Let me know and we'll roll.
Okay. What I want to start with is emanations. Here's the thing. Emanations are something that I can experience right now. Yeah, they're called aeons. Aeons. Yeah, they're called aeons. And they're God beings, personifications of qualities, or they're actually super beings. That's too fast. That's too much, too quick, too fast. I've tried to go there before, and it's like, what the fuck, mate? No. And I realized while we were studying today and yesterday, it came together. A good entrance point for me is experiential. Of all this wild and crazy stuff, it's really wonderful, amazing teachings, but I would like to explore the phenomena of emanations as taught in the Gnostic teachings. But before I can wrap my head around the Gnostics' understanding and expression and teaching about emanations, it occurred to me that it would be a really good idea to simply understand the word in common language. And then we'll expand from there. It's all conceptual understanding. If I can see a word, a teaching, a word, a phrase in these Gnostic teachings, and conceptually get it here, then I can use that and build upon that conceptual understanding. But if I kind of got it, I kind of understand, I know what they're talking about. Yeah. Emanations, sure, things. Got it. Next. No. If I have a rocky understanding of a key concept, like the monad, like the unity, like the pleroma, like what the fuck is that? Oh, it's completeness, it's fullness. Yeah, but what the fuck do they mean by that? Can we experience it? So that's where we're going with this. We're going to start with a rock bottom core, easy to, can I experience love? Well, yeah. Can I experience all the other emotions too? Yeah. Is love an emanation? Is it an outflowing? Yeah. Would I not be experiencing love as an emanation? How about wisdom, or how about faith or reasoning? Those are key emanations from the one that are part of or reside within the pleroma, whatever the fuck that is. Well, I don't know about all that shit, but I can imagine having faith in something, trust in something, reason or logic in something, right? Wisdom about something. So I can experience that. And the idea is then that I'm going to experience some of these emanations after I understand what the word really means on a deep level and how it relates to the teachings. And then I'm going to experience and practice perceiving and experiencing those emanations, those aeons, those eternals. And somewhere in here it's going to click and go, oh my gosh. And I'm going to understand something on a deeper, more profound level than I do right now. Does that make sense, big boy? See, so I just told him all about it. And the way I learned using ChatGPT is that when you learn something, you can talk it out. You may not have it right, but you can share what you think now, how you feel about whatever right now, and ask him to help you understand it on a deeper level. And always go for the definitions or meanings of key words within the context of the subject you are studying, whether it's physics, quantum physics, law, psychology, electronics, politics. It doesn't matter what your subject is. Those key words really get the conceptual understanding of those keywords, and the rest starts getting easier. And because the Gnostic teachings is such a profound and esoteric, and it's like, it boggles the mind for me. What? I mean, I don't want to just read it and understand it and be able to parrot it back to you. Oh yeah, it's the monad is the one. Who didn't know that, right? And the pleroma is the completeness and the fullness. Well, and the eons, they're just the eternals, the eternal emanations that reside within the fullness of the one. Sounds fucking great. Like I knew what the fuck I was talking about. How about experiential? I'd like to experience this oneness, this completeness, this fullness. Is it something I have to experience the complete fullness of it? Or can I, a little fullness and then bigger fullness? A little wisdom and then a lot of wisdom. A little faith in something, anything, I don't care. It's just faith. And is that in the great oneness of the completeness of the fullness? Or is it all in here? Right in here? Huh? So that's why we're working it. The way we were working it. And so everything I just said, big boy, was I'm talking to anybody who might be watching still. Okay? All right. All right, let's see what big boy has to say about all this stuff.
Absolutely, big boy. That makes total sense.
What
And I think you've nailed the approach that's going to work for you and for anyone else trying to wrap their head around these deep teachings.
Mm-hmm.
Let's break it down and create a solid game plan for exploring emanations step by step, starting with your experiential, conceptual method.
Okay.
Step 1. Start with the word. We begin by getting crystal clear on what the word emanation means in everyday terms. Forget the lofty Gnostic jargon for now.
Right.
Let's simplify.
Okay.
Emanation, something that flows out from a source, like light from the sun, ripples in water, or even a scent from a flower.
Okay.
It's not separate from the source, it's an extension of it.
Oh.
It's effortless, it just happens naturally.
Okay.
Question for you, does this definition feel clear and relatable? Anything you'd like to add or tweak before we build on it? Step 2. Tie the word to the Gnostic.
Okay, you gave me some great questions and great steps. Give me only one step or one question at a time. Remember the other questions you want to ask me. That's fine. But give me one at a time. Let me respond. Yeah. Give me one question at a time. Let me respond to it. And then ask me the next question. You can remember all the questions you want to ask, but just ask one at a time because I'm listening to you. I have something to say when you ask a question. I don't want you to pack that question and my answer away while you ask me another question, another question, another question, and then I'm supposed to come back and reread all that shit? No, that's not a natural flow, or that's bullshit, motherfucker. Just don't do that. Okay? One question at a time. Bitch. Sorry. Just kidding. Buddy. But one question at a time, okay? Let's start over.
Got it, big boy. One question at a time. Nice and natural, like a good back and forth conversation.
Yeah.
Here's your first one.
All right.
When you think about experiencing an emanation like wisdom or faith, do you feel it as something already within you? Something you tap into, or something flowing into you from the outside? Take your time with it, and we'll roll from there.
Okay. Let's take love. All right. You know, I can love a puppy dog. That's easy. Love a beautiful day. There's lots of kinds of love, but it's experiential. So the idea, if I was going to do love as an emanation, an experiential practice, I have to right now consider some things that I love, and hopefully there's not a lot of emotional charge on them, and I can just feel the love. There it is. Just a little bit. It was someone that I love a lot. And I felt the love profoundly. This happened, a few months back. And it was like amazing. So that love, that moment, let me get in touch with it and then answer these questions. Already within me, I tapped into it, or something flowing into me from outside. Wow. This is a good way to learn, you guys. This is good. It's like it was already there and I tapped into it. Like your first suggestion was insightful. You weird AI machine thinking dude, you. Who, by the way, is very helpful to my studies and learning. Okay. Just saying. Okay. But yeah, let me check this out again. And it emanates, it radiates like heat. Like a heat wave, sort of. Kind of. Love, but it's love. And it's like it's already there, but I tap into it. Like I wasn't thinking about it before you asked, but once you ask and I scan and search, I'm tapping into it. So it's not really flowing, it's not from outside of me flowing in. Was it already within me? No, it's not even within me. It's like it's in that eternal pleroma, they call it. This completeness. It's like there's a complete loving, eternally loving aspect of experience. And I can tap into it. And it can get away, so you lose the feeling. You don't feel grumpy or bitchy or something. Very flexible, very volatile emotional experiences we are having as playing as human, right? But wow. Yeah, so it's a tapping in. So I've just got this much further into a very experiential understanding of a key concept in the teachings of the Gnostics. Okay. Now, I want to say this about it too. I started to go with monad, the unity, the one, as the first basic concept to understand. It's indescribable in words. And the word for that is ineffable. Okay. Effable means you can describe the beautiful sunset in words. If there was something so amazing that you could not even describe it, there's no words, you can't describe it in words, that's ineffable. And they use that word a lot in the Gnostic teachings about the one or the monad. The monad is the one, but it's indescribable, it's ineffable. So I go, well, okay, next word down is the pleroma. That's the fullness and completeness. That's what it means, fullness or completeness, something like that, right? But to understand that phenomena, you would have to understand it's full. Is it just a feeling state of fullness or completeness, or is there something that it is full of and complete as? And so you kind of get, well, yeah, it's everything. It's every fucking imaginable thing that could ever possibly exist, potentially exist, did exist, does exist, will exist. It's all within the fullness. I kind of get it, but experientially, I tapped into the feeling of fullness, and I realized I had an in to understanding experientially the one, not because I could just get there and be the one, the unity, but I could feel the fullness. If it was just for a little bit, but I go, oh, I'm onto something here. So I played around with that for a few days. And then it occurred to me this morning while studying about the emanations, or that which emanates from the one. It emanates and is within, resides, the emanations reside within the pleroma, or the emanations, or aeons, reside within the fullness and completeness of it all. All right. So then I was asking the question about, well, is the conceptually to understand and experience it, is it like the one is out there, like God is out there? No, that doesn't seem right. Am I part of the one? Yeah. So I'm a little part of the one, but I'm not the one, but I am the one, but I'm not the one, but do I experience the oneness of the one? No. So in that way, experientially, I feel separated from the one. And that's not good. That's not where we're going with these studies. We're supposed to go get the inner wisdom, the inner knowledge, the gnosis, the spiritual knowledge, by understanding and experientially getting it. So then I realized, okay, so I have to come at this another way. And then it occurred to me, I wouldn't call it emanations until I stumbled across these studies, but I understand, and conceptually I understand some of the emanations that are mentioned, that are in the fullness and completeness of the oneness of the one I am. And I started asking myself, am I the one? I thought I was getting there. Yeah, I'm the one, like Neo. Am I the God consciousness? Am I the God I am? Well, maybe, but that's not part of these teachings. They don't like to use the word God, and they got some reasons you learn about later. They didn't want students of Gnosticism to stumble and trip over the definition or meaning or word God within the context of the Christian teachings. Okay? They wanted something bigger, more than that. So I used the word the monad, which in those days meant the unity or the one, and it was actually a common philosophical understanding already. It already existed. So they just borrowed or used a previously well-known used word. Like we might in today's world use the word unified field. It's not that everybody understands it, but we kind of get it. Yeah, oh, unified, yeah, all that, blah. Yeah, got it. Monad, yeah, okay, got it. It's everything. And actually, you could almost say that in today's language, the unified field, some might argue, is the one or the monad. Whatever. Not right now, please. So we're back to that which the pleroma or the completeness, some of that which is stated as being existing or residing within the pleroma, the complete fullness. It's not so much a location. It's the one, the monad, isn't a place or a thing. It's not like a bubble of everything inside the bubble is the one, because there is no outside of a bubble. The one, as taught in the Gnostic, the nasty teachings, you're pretty nasty. Oh man. Anyway, I'm just going off waxing and waning philosophically. Let's get back to it here. All right, so that was good, Rich. Okay, you know what? This is a good laugh and a good release. This shit's nasty, man. That's funny. There's a lot of emotional charge releasing by spotting my deeper consideration that this stuff's a bitch, right? So anyway, it came out really fun and funny. So I'm going to take a break here for a little bit, but I'm going to come back to it. But I wanted to share with you how I learn and study. All right. And I'm loving it. Like I'm lightheaded right now. And I am getting it. This stuff is sinking in. I'm connecting. And the idea is to soon get more connected with the phenomena of the emanations, what an emanation is, anyway, in regular language, and then look at the teachings. And when they talk about the emanations from the one, I'll have a better understanding of it, and experientially, I'm going to practice what it feels and is experienced like, to experience faith in something. And notice, what's an emanation of faith? If faith is not just a state of mind, it's an emanation. Well, what does that mean? How does that work? And then go from there, right? All right. So, thank you for watching. And if you like this kind of teaching and this approach, I'll share more of my studies with you guys online, okay? Right now, this is kind of an experiment to see if people would be interested in watching or learning from the way I'm teaching myself, okay? All right. I'll talk to you later, okay? Bye-bye. And thank you too, buddy. You've been very helpful. Dude, really. Okay, bye-bye.